All right, folks, has Bitcoin bottomed? Do you think you can trust this Bitcoin bounce? Because right now, it's not just Bitcoin's bouncing, it's everything, right? The stock market, even gold is bouncing, but can we trust this move? So as I've been saying, right, we are inside this massive range now. We're going to swing wildly between this 123K area all the way down to 101K area, right? This is the range that Binance created. As we all know, they basically just smashed the market. So we came down here to 103, and there's every chance we could swing up to 123 or even a little bit higher to squeeze all the shorts. You may not believe this, but this is a scenario I've been talking about for the last 1 or 2 weeks. Basically, we swing up, right, up, down, something like this inside the range before we eventually take off again in early December or earliest in late November. It will take about 7 weeks at minimum, right? And the reason why I got that timeline was, and all of this was because May 19th, 2021 crash, and I've told folks many times. And today, by the way, we're going to examine a number of more factors on, for example, how gold influences the Bitcoin cycle, what the bull bear market cycle indicator is telling us, what the funding rate signals are telling us. Have we bottomed yet? Lots of great charts and great signals to go through to see where we are. But this is the one that I've been comparing to the most. So basically the crash was from like 43K down to 30K. So that's when Pablo became famous, said we're going down to 30K, and see how we bounced up, down, and it's like a pinball machine between this range. You establish a range between 43K to 30K. You basically go up, down, up, down, up, down, up to 41K, down, pierce through to 29K, up, down to 28K, 29K, 28 and a half, and then boom, up to 42, 43K, pull back, and up we go. And this whole process took like 8 or 9 weeks, right? That's what I've been saying. This is the closest scenario we have to what we are seeing right now. All that I think is going to happen is basically Bitcoin is going to swing between these two extremes, 123, 24K, all the way to 100K area, right? And I don't know which one it goes first. So you could turn down tomorrow and head to 100K and then go to 123K. All I know is that usually it tends to bounce between these two zones. It's like a pinball machine. When it hits the lower bottom, buy. When it hits the high bottom, sell, right? Lower bottom, buy, high bottom, sell. It's like a pinball machine. It goes dunk, 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 like this, right? And that's not a surprise because I've just shown you guys last time we had a crash like this, what Bitcoin did on the charts. So have a look at this. First of all, we're having a nice bounce, but this 112, that's called 112K area, is problematic, 111.8, because we've had the bounce up from 103K, boom, and we've hit this line. See, this line's established since 2 months ago, August 14th, and then September 18th, and then boom, we're about to hit that again. We respect that. We could pull back and then bounce up again. And of course, the tough one will be this 116K area. Eventually, I mean, this is big resistance, and this is even bigger resistance around 116K because look at all these bottoms, right? Look at this top. Look at this top fake out. Look at this top. So 116K-ish, 116.5 will be major resistance. But however, there's a lot of shorts up here. There's like about, between here and here, there's about $14 billion of shorts. I'm sure the exchanges want to squeeze that. If they created this crash just to take out all the longs, then they definitely want to create this pump to take out all the shorts. But what about the other signals, such as gold, such as funding rates, and how does that impact Bitcoin in the coming weeks? So before we answer those questions, first let's answer the question of which crypto exchange does Pablo use? Well, Pablo uses exchange that's non-KYC. That means you don't need to show any ID. So that means the exchange can't even see who you are. The IRS can't see you. FBI can't see you. Tax office can't see you. CIA, nobody can see you. Total privacy. That's why Pablo has made this great exclusive deal with them, just basically on this Pablo Heman link, right? Click on the Pablo Heman link, and there's a chance to win up to $6,000 plus 2 ETH, right? Whatever the price of ETH may be by the time of the end of this competition, right? And so there's all these bonuses just by depositing, win up to 20 USDT and some trading, right? Some light trading. Deposit $500 and get 100 US dollars by doing some light trading. And here is deposit $1,000 and with some light trading get $200 bonus, right? You get the idea. But folks, this is limited time only. This deal finishes on November the 4th. November the 4th. So let's jump on it. And basically, if you're watching this on YouTube right now, then the link is in the description below. The link is in the description below. But if you're watching on any other platform, that's okay. Just go, such as this one, just go click on my profile page, and there's my link tree or Stan link. And when we click on that, there is, that's the first deal that pops up because this is a great deal. Okay, let's get back to the markets, folks. But keep in mind that this deal is only available on the Pablo Heman link, only on the Pablo link. Okay, so here is the scenario. I've been talking about this for a while now, but here is a closer look at what the relationship is between gold and Bitcoin. And it should be pretty obvious by now. So we see here, this is last bull run. And when gold topped, right, that's when Bitcoin kind of made its move. Boom, right? Up to 64K, down to 30K, and up to 69K. Whereas this one is this season. This is 2024, see? Gold makes the move, and Bitcoin goes into hibernation. Gold finishes the pump, gold goes sideways, and then Bitcoin pumps, right? Gold takes off again, and Bitcoin takes a dump, right? Gold goes sideways and basically goes to sleep, and Bitcoin takes a big pump. And then gold decides to pump again, Bitcoin goes to sleep. We've been seeing that this whole time, right? And I've been trying to tell folks of the relationship of between gold and Bitcoin. They're not quite correlated, but what it does mean is basically gold pumps, then Bitcoin follows. Gold rests, that's when Bitcoin pumps. And it's much easier to see it on a chart like this because they mark out when the pump starts and when the hibernation or the consolidation period starts. So it's basically much more easier to see. And so right now, if gold was to pause, if gold was to take a pause, then yes, Bitcoin would make a massive move. I don't think gold is that far away from pausing because it's already made a massive move from $3,500 to almost $4,400 now. It's made like a $900 run already. So here is another chart. This is again emphasizing what I spoke about before. I've spoken about the futures funding rate in my previous video, but here's a better chart to look at it. Now, this black line is, of course, the price of Bitcoin since this November 2020 bottom at 15K. And we can see that this is the funding rate, right? Futures funding rate. When it is in blue, that means it's basically above zero. That means basically that there's more longs than shorts. When it goes into red, and we've marked it out here as well, right? That means there are more shorts than there are longs. So that means the market is quite negative, quite bearish. Kind of like right now. The market is kind of quite bearish right now. There's all sorts of predictions, like people saying Bitcoin could go to 80K, 70K, 60K, 54K, whatever it is, right? So when Bitcoin was at 15K, there was a lot of shorts and Bitcoin took off. Then it took a dip and there were a lot of shorts and Bitcoin took off again. And then went back to, this is around 25K, there were a lot of shorts, and that's when Bitcoin took a massive pump, right, to 73K. And then Bitcoin took a rest. And then here, there's a lot of basically a lot of shorts as well. People going short in when Bitcoin's around 49, 53K area. And then that's when Bitcoin ran up again to 108K, 109K, and then boom, this is the Trump. This was the Japanese yen reverse carry trade crashing, and this was the Trump tariff crash in March, late March, and leading to April the 4th, and lots of shorts, and then boom, of course, Bitcoin took off to 123K, and then here we go again, 125K, and this was the dump. This was the dump last Friday, and now, now we're like 9 or 10 days away from that event, and right, lots of shorts because the funding rate has gone negative. And the thing is this. The things that usually I would say, that's why I said at the start of this video, it takes 8 to 9 weeks. Look at this. This wasn't a short period of time. It was something like 7 weeks. This was something like 6 to 7 weeks. This was like 7 or 8 weeks. This was like 3 or 4 weeks. This was like about 5 or 6 weeks, right? It takes a bit of time. So I think by mid to late November at the earliest, then we can start seeing the next move up, right? According to this chart. Remember, folks, no chart is 100% accurate, and no signal is 100% accurate, but at least this one, tends to work. This is the crypto quant Bitcoin bull bear market cycle indicator, and crypto quant, as you guys know, is a famous on-chain data, compiler. They don't basically tell us what they put into the cycle indicator, but so far we can see that this actually works pretty well. This kind of called the bear market, kind of early, right, in the 2014 bear market, and when it flipped bullish, flip bullish quite early, right, and caught this whole bull run, and called the bear market quite early here, called the bull run kind of early, and warned of the bear market. Bull run, not quite early enough in this bear call, right, and didn't tell us that the bull market was back on. But it called the bull run here quite well at 20K. And then every time we took a dip, it went blue here, and went blue here. So if you were to trust this chart 100%, you would have believed that there was a bear market starting here, bear market starting here, and bear market starting here. Rather than bear market starting here, like these 3 instances, what happened was market quickly got back up, got back up again. So these, rather than interpreting as a bear market, I would just say these are like deep flush out, deep drawdowns where the markets could turn up again. See here, right, 49K, market turned up. Here, Trump tariff dramas, 74K, market turn up. Here, we're about to find out, I think within the next few weeks, maybe 103K, maybe 98K, somewhere in that range is the bottom, right? So that's another indicator. What are some of the other indicators we could look at? Okay, this is the long-term holders of Bitcoin, NUPL. And NUPL just means net unrealized profit or loss. That unrealized means, as you guys know, that means they've got this profit or loss, they just haven't sold yet. So for example, when you have a lot of profit, but you haven't sold yet, then sooner or later people are going to start selling and start realizing and taking profits. And that's when Bitcoin tops, right? This is unrealized profit, and people take profit, and Bitcoin tops. Same here again. But if we look at here, unrealized profit, and this is when we've had those signals, and when we have unrealized losses, but people haven't sold yet, and some people take those losses, and that's when capitulation happens and we bottom. Same here. So how does this compare to the past cycles? For long-term holders, I'm not sure if this actually, this cycle gives us any major hints as when Bitcoin has topped, right? We're not seeing a steep drop off. When it has topped off in the past cycle, we see a steep drop off. So far, we haven't. That doesn't mean we haven't topped yet, but so far it hasn't. So that's the indicator by itself. But these are short-term holders, right? NUPL, net unrealized profit and loss, right? So when short-term holders profit reach an extreme, Bitcoin makes a massive pullback. When they reach an extreme in profit, then basically Bitcoin sells off. When short-term holders reach massive losses, like this one, that's when Bitcoin bottoms in 2015. Again, massive profit means short-term holders are selling, and we'll reach a bottom here. Top, right, bottom, massive profit, unrealized for short-term holders, right? Someone's bound to start selling, and then someone's bound to start buying, right? So this indicator seems to work okay. They seem to have some false positives. This is around 20K, and look, up and down, up and down, up and down. So not a lot of profits this time, even for people to sell, and we haven't quite reached the massive loss stage yet, even compared to the past 3 instances in the last 2 years. So basically, 103K may not be the bottom. That's what's telling me. We could get to as low as, say, 100K or 98K. But if you guys have been following me, you'll already know that's been on the cards, because that's where Binance smashed the price down to 101K area, which means 100K, 98, 99K bottom is quite possible. Now, just on altcoin season, so I want to show you guys this. This is basically the weekly chart of others divided by Bitcoin. Bitcoin is Bitcoin. Others is basically the top 150 altcoins, but not including the top 10. So basically not including, it's basically the largest altcoins, not including Ethereum, XRP, BNB, Solana, Cardano, those ones. So therefore, we're looking at sort of large altcoins and mid-cap altcoins, right? And look at this. This is their 2017, 2018 bull run. It basically bounced off this 0.08 level and took off, right? 4x run. And then boom, 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 boom. They came down to this 0.08 level again, up, and it bounced off that again, and then massive run to, that's a 6x run, 5.5x, and that's a 7x run. Now, here, guess what? After this dump 2 Fridays ago, we've hit this level on 11th of October. We hit this level on 0.08 once again. Look at this. Basically, this 0.08 level has been tested so many times, right? And what is it? It's basically, right, others, which is mid-cap to large-cap altcoins index divided by Bitcoin itself. And it's made this bounce of 0.08, right? Once, twice, 3 times, and we've bounced it off it the 4th time. So I think chances are we're going to develop some sort of bull flag here and break out, right? That seems like a pretty likely scenario to me. And here's another way of looking at others divided by Bitcoin itself. Basically, you could say we're inside this downward channel or a bull flag, however you want to call it. And but if we look at the RSI, basically last time others took off was when it broke through this trend line, and now we're in a similar sort of situation again. And also, if we look at the stochastics, last time stochastics turned out positive, and that's when the breakout happened here, right? And now here, once again, we're about to turn positive in the stochastics, right? So even though people think this is something that's impossible right now, that altcoins could pump, but it's exactly when everyone thinks, something can't happen, or everyone's been bearish or negative, that's when it does happen. you need to be contrarian when everyone's going the other direction. Okay, thank you for tuning in, folks. I'll keep you updated on more progress.